Why, hello there. How's it going, everybody? It's just past noon on the East Coast, and I'm not even on the East Coast, but we're thinking in these terms of East Coast time today. This is going to be an under 5-minute video. I'm going to try. We've got to get this done fast. A million things to do. For all the people asking about NHL, Ken, why don't you do NHL? Ken, you're a hockey player. Ken, you have hundreds of videos of yourself playing hockey on the internet, on YouTube, and you don't even do an NHL algorithm? All right, I'll start working on it. I agree. Too many people are asking. And I always claim that I can do everything and get everything done, so why can't I get an NHL algorithm done? The answer is I can. So let's talk about that after we do some college basketball, which is what this is. Let's talk about today, the 28th. It's Thursday. We have a bunch of teams up here. We have no team bump. The reason why is I like to look at everything in this no team bump situation and then determine whether or not these away teams are worth it or whether you would think about doing the other way. So that's how I'm looking at this right now. As we zoom in, I'm trying to make this a little bit more visual for people that are on phones and stuff. I, of course, test this out on my phone. So let's try shrinking stuff like this. And I think this is probably about good, right? So in this situation, we're looking for decent money lines right here because this team's supposed to be better than this team. We want the team to be home because that's always better, and looking for good lines. So as we go down, we see nothing. Here's a minus 200, but it's Belmont away against Austin Peay. But we do think that Austin Peay's a pretty weak team this year. Both these teams, 17 games already for Belmont. So this is a pretty good minus 200 line. To win. Will they cover 4.5? We hope so. The point projection said yes, so that's an interesting spread bet right there potentially. Here's a minus 235 of Bradley, but these are all away teams, which you want a home team really to be your pick of the day and stuff. Here's some lines getting a little bit into the 200s again with some away teams, 300s. Here's even money Texas El Paso away at San Antonio. Not two great teams, though. Also predicts a tie game in terms of projected score, whatever that means. So here you got Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, but your margins are very low. The margin, when it's low, means this is more of an even game, and these teams are away. So when I talk about toggling the home bump, and what I mean by this is usually a home bump of about 9% has been optimal. So when you refresh this, you see that some of those things changed and went away. It was, instead of Southern Illinois, Edwardsville being favored over here, they're now a dog against SEMO, Southeastern Virginia. Both these are really bad teams, though. So the margin switches because we added 9%. Go back to 0, and you get this. And so it means that these are tough games, and you probably stay away from them. The home teams, though, you could think about them getting bumped a little more if you added a home. So Arizona State, Eastern Washington, Southern Methodist, Arizona, all those teams are essentially a little better, we think, than it's showing because we haven't added a home bump. So something to think about. Of course, I'm not betting today. I'm in California doing other stuff. But let's talk about yesterday real quick because I can't stop. Yesterday was a pretty decent day, it looks like, and it really highlights the home bump situation. Okay, so yesterday, now this bump does not work when I'm doing retroactive looking. So you change this and nothing's going to change here right now. You can change that around though. As a matter of fact, I already sent out the file. Let me show you how you do that. So here in the cube sheet, there's a bunch of formulas in these columns right now. And what you can do is you can take them from today and you can bring them up and pull them up with the autofill, like the bottom right-hand side of the square is where I touched it, and I pulled it up. And now all of a sudden, the home bump is going to be figured into this, as well as whatever the new... Actually, as a matter of fact, we should not change power strength. Sorry. We should just change this. Because the power strength changes from day to day as the stats get updated, but if we just change the margin, this is actually the way it would work properly. Now if you go back here and refresh, you see these things are going to change. And all right, see, this would have been a 24-7 day with a 9% home bump yesterday. Instead, I sent it out with, I think, a 0 or a 4% home bump. It was 20-11, 15-16 on the spread. But look at all this losing down here with all these away teams. That's why we talk about using a home bump. So you put a 9% home bump in there, and it goes from 20-11 to whatever it's at 24-7, and 19-12 on the spread. That is good interest. Now, this didn't do this every day. Yesterday or the day before was a bad day, right? It was like, we didn't do nearly as well. So it doesn't work every day, but you're playing law of averages here, and you're just trying to make the best decisions that you can with the information you have. So a 9% home bump worked out. You can see that DePaul lost against St. John's. I think I mentioned that game yesterday. These aways still lose. So if you brought another 5% bump up here and made this like 16% or something, you actually go 25-6. You go and 20-11 on the spread. Are you crazy? No way. What happens if we go 100% home bump? Just go all out wacky. That would have made you 22-9. So it doesn't go forever. But this I'm amazed at the size of the home bumps. Is it that students are back in school maybe? Are there fans at these games now that we're loosening our COVID restrictions a little bit as we're growing up? I think that might be part of it, but this is really fascinating because this is where I left. I said 9% was what we were doing, right? That's still 24-7, but I think I sent it out with a 4% bump yesterday, which still would have been better, or maybe a 0. I don't know. God, never listen to me. Always listen to the algorithm. The algorithm's saying there's a home bump that's clearly a factor. And if you go to today and you start doing 16% bump today, let's see what happens. It ends up, there's still a bunch of away teams here somehow? No way. That's not right, is it? Wait a minute. Yeah, actually, this is a very big away favored day. Of the 24 games listed on here today, at a 0% bump, we have 14 of those being picked and only 10 home. So in order to add a 16% bump to this and bring some of these home teams into the fray, then all of a sudden we have 13 games instead of 10 for the home teams. And what that does is it makes it look, there's still this chunk of away that's so scary. I know San Jose is a bad team. I think they won a game, though. I think they just won a game, San Jose State. They hadn't won one. That's even with a 16% bump. This is a really weird-looking day. Now that you look at it in this manner. Let's see here. I know I'm going on. But whatever. For those of you that are interested in toggling and really using the Excel. Whoa, just spilled coffee over everything. For those of you who are interested in using Excel to its potential for this, I mean, that's why I do this. I actually didn't get any coffee on the computer and just got it on the table. So that's cool. All right. I would say that this is just a really weird day. So you've got these home teams that are barely favored, and then all this away stuff up here. Not all this stuff's going to win. I mean, this is normally we do 9% bump, right? That still gives you a chunk here. I think this is a weird looking day here. There's a lot of these away favorites that make me remember how if you look at the previous day, the wins and the losses here. You see how you got it was like a 4, whatever. You got this trail of losses here when we had no bump. Yeah, this right here, all these spreads, all these teams losing away on the spread line. I'm seeing today this, which is all these guys losing, like these with the points, flip that around, it's these teams with the points, which look like this, starting at Tennessee Martin, right? Where is it? Or San Jose State. Okay, I can't believe you bet on it. It's like right here, it's this chunk of home teams, see this? Rice, all these home teams, plus a bunch of points. This is an interesting street where I think out of these 5, out of these 5 dogs, it looks like, right? Yeah. Wow. Out of these 5 dogs, I bet you that 3 of those 5 dogs actually win the game, and I bet you 3, 4, or 5 of those cover the spread that they have, which is getting points. I bet you 4 of those 5 cover the spread. That's really risky call on my part, but I actually think the way that, I mean, this is with a 9% bump. What happens with a 0% bump? How far do they move down? They go down, they get a little moved around, I think. The margins are negative on them because they're home. Where are they? They're like here now. So they're really like minus 19 and 20% teams, but something seems to happen at home. So I'd say taking them with the points, I do think that at least 3 of those are going to cover the spread, and probably 4, and maybe you get lucky with 5. That's what I think might happen. So, all right, that's about as interesting as I'm going to get today. I will work on NHL. And by the way, farming payroll, you're going to see me doing videos about farming. I mean, America, growing food and payroll for those types of businesses. That's what's coming. So good luck, everybody. May all of your picks be doing the best that they can just do, Good luck.